Welcome to Shay's Garden. It's about as far as I'm really allowed to go at the moment. But I saw an interesting article on Sony Alpha Rumours last night about the prospect, the potential of an f1.2 full-frame lens for Sony E-mount being released later this year, depending how the COVID-19 outbreak goes on. So it probably won't happen. Now, I do realise it's a rumour, you can't read too much into rumours, but you know what? The world's going to hell in a handcart, people are feeling like crap. We need something to try and take our minds off it, so let's talk about the potential, the prospect of an f1.2 lens. Now, fast aperture lenses have been a hot topic of discussion when talking about the Sony E-mount, because a lot of people say that the Sony E-mount, because it was originally designed for APS-C, the diameter of the lens mount isn't as wide as that of the Canon or the Nikon, so you can't make fast aperture lenses. You can't go really faster than the f1.4 lenses that Sony already make. Well, somebody should tell Sigma, because pretty sure they've already made an f1.2. And there's a 0.95 lens for Sony E-mount as well. So clearly fast aperture lenses are possible. I think it's more just how that affects the overall optical design. I mean, sure, something like that monstrous Nikon 0.95 lens, you're probably not going to be able to make that in that size for the Sony E-mount. But let's be honest, who the pissing hell wants a lens like that anyway? It's unusable. It's got a depth of field the size of a strand of hair, and it's manual focus as well. It's just, for me, it's a gimmicky toy. You know, I'm sure there will be people that use it, but I doubt anyone is actually going to be using that lens realistically at 0.95. They're probably stopping down to f1.4 anyway. So fast aperture lenses are definitely capable on the Sony E-mount, and Sony have made no allusions to that in the past. They have said on multiple occasions that the E-mount is more than capable of taking much faster than f1.4 lenses. Now, I am definitely inclined to believe this rumour, also because according to the article, whatever the source is that's leaked this information is the same source that correctly gave the information about the 135 G Master and the 35 1.8, so whoever it is knows what they're talking about. Now, if Sony are making a 1.2 lens, I don't think they're making it to combat Sigma. I think they're probably making it more as an answer to Canon's RF lenses. The RF lenses, without question, do seem to be extremely good lenses, and obviously now Canon have got this R5 body on the way, which is going to make the whole system far more threatening to Sony. So I think Sony would be silly not to come up with something to directly compete against Canon with that. But even if the lens doesn't come out in the next 12 or 18 months, I'm in no doubt at some point we are going to see Sony create some f1.2 lenses for the E-mount system. I mean, in all fairness, if they do make an f1.2 lens, I still won't buy one, for the same reason I don't buy f1.4s. I bought everything as f1.8 or slower because I like the smaller compact size. I mean, sure, there is the argument that says if you have a wider aperture to begin with, then when you stop the lens down to that same corresponding aperture, you're going to get better image quality. But that's not down to the fact that you've stopped a fast lens down. That's down to the complexity of the optics and how well the lens has been designed. I mean, you could have a lens that's designed only to be f4, but at f4 it's razor sharp corner to corner. And then you could have another lens that's been poorly designed as an f1.4 lens that when you stop it down to f4 still looks garbage. But obviously that's personal preference. For me, I'm not fussed about having the biggest size of an f1.2 lens because I don't need it. At least not now. But if they are making an f1.2 lens, the rumour only says it's an f1.2 G Master. Then it becomes a question of what focal length are they going to go for. Now, it's obviously not going to be a 24mm because they've only just released a 24 f1.4 G Master, so they're not going to then supersede that straight away with a 1.2. It could potentially be a 35-50 or 85mm. Now, a 35 1.2 would put it up against Sigma's 35 1.2, which might not be the smartest move because, to be fair, that Sigma lens is pretty bloody impressive, and the Sony lens is bound to be more expensive than the Sigma, which might hurt sales. But having said that, their current flagship 35mm, the Distagon 1.4, is a bit long in the tooth and due an update, so might make sense that they go with that. Now, sure, Sony already have an 85G master lens with the 1.4, which is now about 4 or 5 years old. So that could be potentially due an update. But I'm pretty sure their 50mm Distagon lens is even older. So that's where my money's on. I think they'll be updating the 50mm with a 1.2. They're definitely not likely to go any longer than 85mm, because at 1.2 that really would be huge. Although they might potentially go wider than 24mm. That could be a turn up for the books, because wide's the new craze now. So maybe following on from the 20mm f1.8, they're going to make a 20mm f1.2. Or they might go even wider, like a 16mm f1.2. That'd be like an astrophotographer's dream lens, wouldn't it? I think, in fairness though, my money is on a 50mm f1.2. That's where I'm edging my bets. But what do you guys make of this? Do you think they are going to make an f1.2 lens? And if so, what focal length would you put your money on? Leave your thoughts and comments in the box down below. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, guys, please consider hitting the subscribe button. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. It's definitely going to rain. I'm going in now.